Welcome to Thursday, August 18th, 2022. This forecast brought to you by Cowboy State Daily. Cowboy State Daily has more original Wyoming news content than any other news organization in the state. Check them out on their Facebook page or sign up for their daily newsletter. As we take a look at what's going on, well, there's not a lot going on. Lots of sunshine, comfortable August weather coming our way. For mid-August, this is a pretty decent little stretch of weather coming our way. The monsoon is getting pushed way to the south and west for today. So even some areas that have been getting afternoon and evening thunderstorms in parts of central and southern Rockies going to see a little bit of a break. However, thunderstorm activity will increase mainly along and west of the divide and into the southern and southwestern areas of the United States through the weekend. I think east of the divide, there's really not going to be much going on, at least for Montana, Wyoming, some of the northern plains. Will still see thunderstorms in southern Colorado, New Mexico, Arizona, into the Great Basin this weekend. But the northern areas going to see dry air coming on in. Now, next week, we have a couple of frontal systems that bring better chance of showers and thunderstorms east of the divide, especially mid to late next week. We want to update you on some things happening with the Cheyenne, Wyoming radar. And also, there's been a lot of solar activity here over the last couple of days. Today's satellite photo is showing that monsoon really getting stretched out, getting suppressed further south. There's still a lot of subtropical moisture down here. It's not going away yet, but you can see all of the moisture here along the Gulf Coast, the southeast, and then stretching back into parts of the Pacific Northwest. But look at all the orange with this streak of drier air coming in right there. So it's just going to be a very quiet day. The thunderstorm activity forecast is going to be pretty spotty along where that moisture is. Now, we may see some isolated thunderstorms over Wyoming's mountains. We've seen that. Yesterday, we had a thunderstorm form near the Bighorn Mountains and go right through Casper. Casper, classic isolated thunderstorm situation where there was just one or two thunderstorms, but one went right through Casper. Good to get that rain. But very quiet conditions are going to be noted elsewhere. Now, the Cheyenne radar is going down due to maintenance. So for those of you looking at radar, this is a very popular radar site this time of year because it's a great one to see the thunderstorms building across the region. But it's going to be down for maybe 7 days. So you're going to want to go to those areas, those radar sites they list below here to let you know that you're not going to see the Cheyenne radar working. You'll have to go to these other radar sites. These other radar sites will kind of come into the Cheyenne area so you can see thunderstorms. But if you look at your app, if you look online and you don't know why you don't see the Cheyenne radar working, that's why. High pressure right on top of us. You saw it in the satellite imagery. This is how things are going to go today. And here's the precipitable water chart. And you can just see there's just a lot of dryness separating the wetter areas across the United States, kind of a east-west axis of dryness and wetness. Now, this is by Sunday. Notice by Sunday, there's a bit of an eastward push of moisture right here in western Wyoming, into Utah, the Four Corners area, all the way up into southern Canada, while there's a very dry area right here over the plains and east of the divide. So that's why Continental Divide and west, there'll be some thunderstorms this weekend. East of the divide, not much. Continued wet and cooler down here in those areas. And here you can see that. Here's the rain forecast through Sunday afternoon. And you can see the dry pocket across a large part of Wyoming, Montana, the western Dakotas. And then that deeper moisture over Texas, New Mexico, down into Arizona. But the Four Corners area and basically along and south of I-70 and along I-15 there in Utah, there's going to be some shower and thunderstorm activity where that deeper monsoonal moisture is going to be. Now, looking out to next week, more changes to talk about. We're already seeing that August is going to play out a lot differently than July did, especially with temperatures across the United States. The last half of August is going to actually, in some parts of the lower 48 states, be below average. In some of the areas that were really, really hot in June and July. High pressure is building back west into the eastern Pacific. We continue to see this tendency, and if we see it any longer, our confidence is going to go up about the end of August, early September, having one or two stronger cold fronts. This little low right here will drift through the northern and central Rockies mid to late next week, taking a track like this. This will cool us off again and will bring a better chance of showers and thunderstorms east of the Continental Divide. as we get into the middle to the end of next week. Then, 10 days out, look at this. This is for the weekend of the 27th and 28th. Now, whether or not it transpires like this, we're not certain yet, but we continue to see hints of something like this. So this is by next weekend, and when you get that big ridge building up in the Gulf of Alaska, you're going to have a trough in the door to the western United States to get cooler is certainly there. This would be a pretty significant cool down by next weekend and into the first day or two of September. It should have some precipitation associated with it as well. However, we're not quite buying into it yet, but if we continue to see this over the next day or two, our confidence will go up. And if that type of pattern happens, look at the coolness in central and western Canada, the northwestern United States, continued below average temperatures in the areas of the United States that have been very, very hot, and that cooler weather would slide just like this to the south and east if that happens into the first couple of days of September. So we'll keep an eye on it for you as we take a look at going through the second half of the month and staring down September. Solar activity. There's a geomagnetic storm watch. We've had not one, but we've had two coronal mass ejections, and they're predicting a possible G3 class storm. Now, these geomagnetic storms go from 1 to 5. So this is not a 4 or 5, but it's right in between in terms of strength. So there could very well be, for the next couple of nights, the aurora borealis. We did see it in Europe, parts of Europe last night, and we might see it in parts of the lower 48 states in Canada over the next couple of nights. So photographers and sky watchers, look to the north the next couple of nights, might be able to see something. And here you can see the aurora already very active on the other side of the globe, but also extending further south into Canada. So it could be interesting here the next couple of nights. Have yourself a great Thursday. We'll see you tomorrow.